Hey everyone, this is Patrice with the Positivity Corner, and I'm back with yet another video. Wow, this really is bringing back a ton of memories for me. Um, but if you don't know your 70s stuff, you might not recognize these three people, but I'm sure many of you do. This is Tony Orlando and Dawn. Oh boy, take me back. They were a very, very popular singing group in the early 1970s. In fact, they were so popular at one point, they even had a hit variety show for a couple of years. It was called the Tony Orlando and Dawn Show on CBS from 1974 to 1976. Yeah. And they actually broke up the next year in 1977 and have performed together as a group sporadically since. Tony Orlando actually just retired, folks, from singing. He's 80. Yeah. He got his first hit in 1961. Yeah. You're talking over 6 decades. Kudos to you, Tony Orlando and Dawn. Yeah. Long time. Long, long time performing. I want to talk about Tony Orlando first. He was born and raised in New York City. Started singing in doo-wop group when he was 15 years old. Do the math because he's 80 now. And he recorded demo tapes, yada, yada, yada. He actually got the attention of the famous music publisher and producer John Kirshner. And he hired Tony Orlando, interestingly enough, to write songs for him. Right. And there was a famous building in New York. It was called the Brill. It's called the Brill Building. And there were all the songwriting publishing houses and the producers, and that's where they all were in the 50s and 60s. And along with Carole King, Neil Sedaka, Barry Mann, Bobby Darin, Connie Francis, he wrote songs for people. And he also recorded as a singer. He had a couple of hit singles in the early 60s. But he decided he would be better served going into the backside of the business. And he became a record executive who dealt with artists. And he was successful at it. He became vice president of a very large music publishing company, CBS Music. He signed people. He co-wrote songs. He worked with a lot of very well-known artists, including the Yardbirds, James Taylor, Grateful Dead, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Barry Manilow, and Laura Nyro. This song that I'm about to play, this is not their biggest hit, Tony Orlando and Dawn. Because Tony Orlando and Dawn is kind of a manufactured group. And I'm going to talk about the song, how it actually came to be after I play it. This is Tony Orlando and Dawn with their first actually hit. And this is 1970. 1970, folks. Wow. 1970. And this one is called Candida.
The stars won't come out if they know that you're about, 'cause they couldn't match the glow of your eyes. And oh, who am I? Just an ordinary guy, trying hard to win me first prize. Oh, Candida, we could make it together. The further from here, girl, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean. Candida, just take my hand and I'll lead you. I promise life will be sweeter, and it says so in my dreams. The future is bright. The gypsy told me so last night. Said she saw our children playing in the sunshine. And there was you and I in a house, baby, no lie. And all these things were yours and they were mine. Oh, my Candida, we could make it together. The further from here, girl, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean. Candida, just take my hand and I'll lead you. I promise life will be sweeter, and it says so in my dreams. And oh, who am I? Just an ordinary guy. You know I'm trying hard to win me first prize. Oh, my Candida, we could make it together. The further from here, girl, the better. Where the air is fresh and clean. Come with me. Whoa, my Candida, just take my hand and I'll lead you. I promise life will be sweeter, and it says so.
That's just a well-crafted pop song. It's dated and it kind of does that, but it's well done and it's well sung. I will say that. That was from 1970. Wow. That was Tony Orlando and Dawn. And the song is called Candida. This was a huge hit. It went to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. And it was number 1 on Cashbox. Huge hit. Huge hit. Not their biggest hit. Their biggest hit is the iconic tie yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. That was the number 1 song, folks, of 1973. The number 1 song of the year. It's one of the biggest selling singles of all time. But let's go back to Candida. This is kind of crazy because the people who produced it, the lead vocal was done by somebody else, a blues singer named Frankie Paris. And he did it in a style reminiscent of the Drifters. Okay, so if you know your 50s stuff and your 60s stuff, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't like the way that Frankie Paris did it. So they were trying to find another singer for the track. One of the guys, guess who his friend was? Tony Orlando. So he asked him to sing it. Now, the other thing is, okay, they made up this Dawn, right? Two women to sing background. They were different singers too, right? They are not the people in this picture. And they just decided to just call them Dawn, and nobody would know who they were, right? Tony Orlando didn't think the song was going to be unsuccessful and wouldn't attract any attention. Ironically, it became a hit. They had to get background singers because the song was so popular. So they asked Thelma Hopkins and Joyce Winters to become Dawn. And those are the people you see in the picture. But they're not the people on the record. If that makes any sense. Crazy, right? But as I said, this was a huge hit. And the rest is history, folks. They had a lot of hits. A lot of hits on the charts in the early 1970s. Tony Orlando and Dawn. They charted a bunch. And Tony Orlando, just think of it. He just retired in 2024 from singing. Amazing. As always, this is Patrice with the Positivity Corner. If you like what you heard and saw in this video, please click the like button. Don't forget to share. I love when you share. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more content. I'll be back with some more of my favorite tunes and more videos for you to enjoy. Take care, everybody.